Welcome everybody to Nervous System Clinic, where we are here to think about all things to do with our nervous systems. And that can be fairly extensive, as you know, because it does kind of crop up and get involved in just about everything we do. So defense mode, very much so, lots of other things as well. So I just let Lynn, and let's start with maybe with a little bit of grounding and also a little bit of a check-in. So maybe a check-in first. So we'll do our little practice of right now I'm sensing, right now I'm feeling. Not alone, that's okay. No worries, Petra. Yeah, let me know if you want to join in or whether you want to use a chat. So right now I'm sensing, and for everyone who's not done this before, sensing is going to be a description, like so something that's actually happening, something you can notice. It could be a taste, it could be something you're hearing, it could be something you're feeling in your body. So that could be, for me, I'm noticing a bit fizzy. It's a bit fizzy. I think I'm quite excited to be here. So right now I'm sensing some fizziness inside of me, like particularly in my chest area, and I'm feeling excited. Really good to be here. I missed the live connection. It's really, really just nice to see all your faces, and yeah, definitely some of that. So I'll just go round and we'll do a sensing feeling practice. So I'm going to start with you, Victoria, because you're there, and then come to Lisa.
So right now I'm sensing actually sensing a bit of nausea, feeling a bit slightly yeah.
Mm. Can all feel that. Okay, so sensing a nausea, and how does it turn up? Where are you noticing it? Let's see if we can get a bit more specific.
So just at the back of my throat and also in my a bit, yeah, mainly in the back of my throat.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Let's see if we can resolve that by the end of the evening.
Yeah.
Okay, Lisa and Petra, do you want to use the chat for now? And then I'll come skip Petra and come to Beth. So Lisa and then Beth.
Mm. Hi everyone, welcome back, Heather.
You.
Um, I'm feeling really achy at the moment, and yeah, I know why it is, and it's because I went shopping this morning, and it was a bit overwhelming, and I'm really, really noticing how lots of
Yeah.
people, lots of lights, lots of choice, noise, all of that stuff is actually zapping my energy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to when I log off from here. I'm looking forward to just having a rest. Yeah,
Yeah. So sensing some achiness in your body, kind
my
of as
whole
a general,
body.
yeah,
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
body.
yeah,
Okay, and you're feeling or identifying it as being linked to overwhelm
yeah. I think it is.
from
Yeah,
shopping, and
yeah,
I can
yeah,
relate to that. Anyone else relate to that?
yeah. Well, it sounds bizarre. It is absurd to me, but now I
No?
know it's not. It's so
People,
obvious.
busy spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I can relate to that a lot. Okay, thank you, Lisa. Beth, right now I'm sensing, right now I'm feeling. Oh,
So I'm sensing, I think I have these in the right order. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm feeling I don't know, pain in my pelvic floor,
hmm.
and I'm feeling anxious, jittery up in my chest.
Okay, so there's some anxiety and also some pain.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit rubbish as well.
Yeah, not having a great
I'm
morning.
prescribing you all a holiday.
We need
Let's
it.
all go away. Where should we go? Come on. Okay, let's have a look about some of this stuff. And it's interesting, isn't it? This time of year, yeah, it's really common, isn't it? Okay, Laura, I'm going to come to you and then Tina. Right now I'm sensing.
Right now, I'm sensing my feet on the floor, and I'm feeling enthusiastic about maybe learning something new today.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks, Laura. Tina.
yeah. I'm sensing, well, the two sort of go together. I'm sensing a bit of flutteriness in my tummy, which I think is
Fluttering.
fluttering because I'm feeling nervous.
Okay, some
Just like
nervousness. Okay.
a nervousness. And I
Well,
can
that's
say
all welcome, and we're very glad to have you here.
one of the reasons I'm feeling nervous, which I will just say this to Beth, because Beth, I've been wanting to say thank you to you for a comment that you made a few weeks ago that was really encouraging, and I couldn't work it out. I had to send you a message. So I was nervous that I would see you and hadn't sent you a thank you. I said thank you.
Bless you. Okay. Message delivered and received. So well done for showing up, even though you felt anxious about that. So celebrating that. Okay, so we've got Sharon and then Debs, and then I'll check the chat. Right now I'm sensing, and right now I'm feeling.
I'm sensing the cold coming in from the door. It's really cold here. I'm sensing, and I'm feeling really accomplished and calm. I'm leaving on Tuesday for Virginia for some gigs, and I'm ready for the party Christmas Eve. I'm ready for Christmas morning. Everything's wrapped, all the food's in the house. Done.
Sharon, you're amazing. What can I say?
It's just ready to go. I'll slide in.
Yeah, that does deserve
sideways
a bit
on
of
the.
I think that does
Yeah.
deserve a reaction there, you know.
On the 23rd, I'll slide in here sideways and start cooking and having a good time. It'll be fun.
Well, it sounds like you've got sparkling to look forward to, so that is fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm pleased for you for that, and
Yeah.
yay! I've got some catching up to do to get into festive spirit, I can tell you. So yeah, all tips require, welcome there. Okay, Deborah.
Yeah.
Right now I'm sensing, right now I'm feeling.
Okay. Right now I'm sensing tension in my neck and my shoulders, and kind of a buzzy feeling in my belly because I'm late to come to join you, and I don't need the because, and a headache. And the feeling is fatigue, deep fatigue, and some worry about things that aren't getting done. And I keep setting them aside because it's not the time. And then they come back. And I'm like, no, not yet. Go away.
Put them back in the box, pop them on the shelf. Sounds like they keep jumping off the shelf. And you have to keep putting them back out.
Because the days are dwindling. And anything I mail tomorrow will not get there in time for Christmas. So it's now
is this the
Year's
festive
gifts.
pressure?
It's festive pressure, self-imposed festive pressure. I bought the gifts. The gifts were waiting to be packaged more than 2 weeks ago, but they are not ready to go to Canada Post, which is always on strike anyway. So no, I cannot.
Just blame the strike and they can have New Year's presents. It's fine. Perfect excuse. And Deborah, I really relate to that. Like really good intentions, might even get round to buying the things, but actually I hate going to the delivery bit, it's tedious, isn't it? So, if we all had those kind of like, what do they call them on Star Trek? We need those, but for presents, right?
Teleporters, or something.
I mean, we need those anyway, so that we can all really get together and do our bit. So, but we also would really welcome those for present delivering, so we didn't have to go to the post office, right?
Yes, thank you.
It's all good. So thank you. Petra's sensing something in his stomach, pressure, weirdness. Okay, feeling impatient, a bit flushed, and some energy as well. Okay, and Carrie sensing feet are cold, ready to learn something or gain some clarity in my current situation. And very welcome Lisa as well. We were just doing a little practice of right now I'm sensing, right now I'm feeling, and I'm conscious that you may not have been to one of these before, and I don't want to put you on the spot. So just to say what we're trying to achieve with that is to tune in a little bit to our bodies and distinguish between actually what we really are sensing in our body, as in we often use the word feeling when we mean that's often a thought. It's we say we're feeling it, but it's an interpretation that our mind's got involved with. to explain. So right now I'm sensing, might be that I'm sensing my seat against the chair. It might be that my feet are on the floor. It might be that I'm noticing some fizzing. It might be that I'm noticing some tension in my shoulders. And then that's the sensation that we're noticing. And then when we're actually feeling, when we say I'm feeling, that's often an interpretation. So I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling like yeah, that there's a deadline to meet with the post or whatever. So you're very welcome to share yours or give it a pass, because I know you've just arrived, and that was a very quick explanation. So what would you like to do, pass or share?
I can share. So in terms of experiencing, meaning when things are feeling,
Yeah.
yeah.
What are you
So,
sensing? Yeah, what can you
yeah, yeah. Um,
actually
I'm experiencing some confusion at times, honestly, um, an overwhelm,
Mhm.
uh, and that
Again,
kind
those are both kind of head things. Those are
of, okay.
interpretations. So how do you know?
I am actually lately been incredibly uncomfortable in my own skin, like to the point where I'm just kind of even doing this a little bit, you know? So I've got that, and then I've got a lot of tension in my
Mhm.
shoulders and neck, and I
Brilliant.
notice I'm really stressed. I'll do this too, or feeling
Okay.
something. So
Yeah,
they're
some
my
good
things.
tells. And so the more that we can tune into those, the more we get an early warning system, right? So the more we start going, oh, I'm doing that thing, that means, or what do I need to do? Okay, so then we start the next, obviously next thing is when we're more tuned in, then we've got a strategy, then we know we need to put something down, we need to work on our capacity, whatever it is that we start doing. So that's the purpose of tuning in more, because it can be, like I say, this early warning system. So I just think, as it's as I've done everyone, have I missed anybody? No, I think I've done it all. So just inviting you just for a very quick kind of grounding exercise as well before we get started with any questions. So a reminder for clinic, I'm not coming with particular teachings, and I've got really happy to share. But it's kind of question led. So what do you need to know? What are you curious about? You know, bring in those questions. And so we'll come to that in a moment. But let's just for now, just be together and see if we can allow our systems to settle and be here, breathe together, and just eyes open, eyes closed. It's completely up to you, whichever you feel safe and comfortable doing. Sometimes it helps to close our eyes and just come inward a little bit. For some people, that's too much. So if you don't want to do closed eyes, soften your gaze, find something in the room that you want to just look at. I've got a sleeping, slightly snory, sniffly dog next to me. It's very cute. So anything like that, but or close your eyes, whatever you want to do. Just bringing some attention to your feet on the floor and the contact that you're making with your chair. Noticing how supportive that is. Just imagining for a moment the connection that you have with the earth, and bringing in some imagination to just extend that connection that your feet are making with the ground. And whether you're high up in your house, just imagining that connection going down, deep into the earth. That anchor that allows the energy to transfer from the earth into our bodies, and for any excess energy to return there. So we can think of there as being a flow up through our feet, calves, knees, thighs, into our pelvic area at the base of our spine, that root, and then back out again down into the ground. I find it really helpful almost to coordinate with the breathing. When I'm breathing in, I imagine the energy coming up from the earth, and as I breathe out, I release anything I don't need back down to the earth. The earth can hold infinite amounts of energy. It's good at storing carbon, and it's good at storing everything else as well. And then just bringing some attention to our upper bodies. Just maybe aligning your spine a little bit more. Allowing our skeleton to do its work by imagining all your vertebrae stacking on top of each other. A very gentle pull as an invisible thread from the crown of your head, imagining this slight upwards motion. And so you've got this two-way system. You've got gravity pulling you down into the earth with that grounding energy. Then you've also got this upward lift that brings you into your full height, creates more space, is expansive and energizing. And if you'd like to, you can imagine this energy coming in through the crown of your head, down through the base of your spine, also to your root chakra, if you want to call it that, or like pelvic area at the base of your spine. And as you breathe out, you can imagine just sending all that energizing air all the way through your womb space, your stomach, gut area, your solar plexus, your heart, throat, third eye, and out again. Giving us kind of two circuits that we're running. This grounding energy up through our legs and back down to the earth. And this energizing, cleansing energy coming from outside, universe, whatever you want to think about it. Down the back of our spines and up through our torso and up back into our heads and out again. Just taking some time to just notice anything that's wanting your attention. And directing a breath, particularly, useful if you've got tension across your shoulders or in your neck. I know some of you mentioned some tension. It's really helpful just to breathe, using your imagination, of course, directing your breath to that. Particularly useful to remember we have got lungs in our back and we can actually make a difference to our tension by breathing fully into our back of our lungs. Just noticing whether there's any restlessness, maybe your body just doesn't want to be still at the moment. Maybe there is some agitation. Someone mentioned agitation. And just being curious about that. Does my body actually want to move right now? Just and allow it to, let it do what it wants to do. Maybe you just need to roll your shoulders or shake your hands a little bit. Just be curious about what your body's wanting or needing right now. Noticing some tension in my neck, despite my lovely travel pillow from sleeping on the plane. I'm beginning to wiggle and move if you're not already, bringing yourself back to the here and now, very gently, without looking into the bright ring light, bringing your eyes back to the screen. Always have to remember to look away before I open my eyes doing that. And yeah, Thank you for that. Always good to feel a bit more grounded and settled. And I hope, was that helpful for everybody? Yeah, lovely to be here. Okay, I'd love to have questions. Now we can work upwards and start in revive and go onwards, or we can just do popcorn style. I'm not bothered. Has anyone got a question? How many questions have you got? Lisa's got a question. Deborah, give me an idea. Victoria. Okay, that's good. 3 questions. Everyone else here to just listen, or they might have a question off the back of something else. Sometimes that happens. You think, oh, I have got a question now. So that's okay. If anyone else has a question, maybe just let me know. You could use the raise hand and then I'll just keep an eye on the time a little more. So that was Victoria, Lisa and Deborah. So Lisa, how about start with you? I can see you're unmuted, so let's go. What's your question?
It's a bit random. When we take a breath and stop and try and relax, I know we should be accepting the thoughts that are coming in, but I have these really kind of random thoughts from years and years ago that just come in. Why is that?
Well, there's several reasons why that might be.
It wasn't a bad thought.
Firstly, we're slowing down, and so it allows things to arise that maybe want some attention or want some thoughts. And that's usually a good thing. Okay, so it might feel like it's doing a bit of time traveling, but maybe it's just sensing that there's a little bit of space, a bit of readiness. Our subconscious tends to reveal what it's ready to reveal. So I guess I would try and come to it with some curiosity. Obviously, there are some other things that could be happening, like that feels like when. So maybe there's oh, you've stopped. That means whatever that means to you. Maybe that was a long time ago and similar to when those stories are coming up. That's also a possibility. But generally we don't stop enough, do we? We're always so busy and we're not noticing those thoughts. It's only when we stop, those thoughts are happening all the time. And it might feel like they just come up when we stop, but quite often it's just that we're noticing them. Sometimes amongst all the noise and the other thoughts, they just fleet and then something else comes in and we don't really notice or we don't give them the attention. Does that feel like any of those might be?
Yeah. So there's always noise in my head, always, even with meditation and mindfulness and everything. And I think the more that I do, because it's funny with memories sometimes, I remember some things but not other things. But then in a quiet moment, those other thoughts come in.
Okay.
And then there's so much noise that I'm not sure. I don't know how to kind of what's the word? Contain it. Do I have to contain it? Probably not.
No.
No.
I think it depends kind of what you're trying to do. So if you're really trying to meditate, it's to allow those thoughts to come in and just allow them to go again, just like clouds. And we're not really giving them that much attention. But I think if something repeatedly comes up when you're meditating, I would be inclined to write them down.
Okay.
And just see if there's a repeated pattern and just see if there's any emotional archaeology that might be required around some of those thoughts.
Yeah.
Or whether they are really just fleeting thoughts that we can just let go for now. But if you are noticing that things get particularly loud, my encouragement would be almost that it's a sign that you need more meditation rather than less meditation. Yeah. Amongst other things, and what suits you. So things, don't. Sometimes it's intense, sitting and meditating very still, like we just kind of did then. So you could also, I know you're a walker, so you can do very meditative movement. And walking sometimes is a less intense way. So see if you can do walking meditation and see if that suits you better.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And you can be very mindful, when you do it on the, nature and what you're noticing. And that gives you something to focus on.
Yeah.
And that might be supportive. So it's a bit
Yeah.
not trying not to dismiss any one type, but to explore what really works for you and what's helpful.
Yeah.
But I would, some of those thoughts might be useful that they're coming up with, it's that space that's allowing them to come in.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Victoria, what can I do with you?
Oh, just I'm just wondering that, I said that I was feeling a bit nauseous, well, sensing nausea and feeling flat. And I thought 2 weeks ago I got a cold. And so I thought I'd really look after myself. I cancelled going away. I had lots of bed rest when I could, and early nights. And now 2 weeks later, I just feel really flat. And it's not even like I want to go to a party. I think I've gone too, I wondered if I'd gone perhaps too low, a bit dorsal, because I'm normally up. I'm either up happy or up fighting. Fighting frustration, and now I've got, like, oh, I'm too tired to do anything. I mean, when I do something, it's fine, but I'm not very joy filled at the moment. And I'm thinking like, oh, I've gone, maybe I've gone too down. And so I was like, oh, how do I get up again?
Possibly you've gone too far down, but possibly it's just really uncomfortable for you because it's not familiar. Like you're so
That's true.
used to being in sympathetic that actually dorsal was like, oh shit, this is really bad. I must be depressed. I must be like, I'm never going to get any better. I'm going to fall down a hole. And you're almost starting to like, because remember, our nervous systems are wanting us to be the same. So
Yeah.
it's wanting you to get, so it sounds like it's trying to get you back to your normal kind of like sympathetic.
Yeah.
And maybe actually what you are needing is still more rest. Because the bugs that have been going round, are nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just a cold, is it? There's many people have had some back with some respiratory issues. There's some flus going around. They got the strain. I think many people I've spoken to have been unwell
Yeah.
and have been more unwell than normally they would be with a cold and have needed more rest and recovery time. So I think there's maybe partly that you're still needing that recovery time, but your nervous system is going, I don't really like this thing. I need to get you back here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that
I
makes
think it's
sense.
about listening into your capacity and really where you're and kind of to stop the kind of complete apathy or whatever. It's to do something, but it's really super gentle, right? So it's a little bit of stretching. It's not going for a full-on hike. It's kind of listening to some music that maybe is a bit more upbeat than so that you get a little bit of, yeah, just like not even that you're necessarily dancing along to it, but almost that you're just getting the vibe of that in your body, in your nervous system. So you're kind of like it's finding ways to sort of mimic a bit of the things that would allow some more movement or some more energy in your system without actually using energy. So
Yeah.
recycling as well, like old photos, chatting, if you've got the energy to chat or listening to a voice message from somebody or sending a little bit of connection,
Yeah, I've been doing a bit of that. I
a
have been
little
doing a
bit
bit
of,
of that.
and do you find that's like helps lift
Yes.
you a little bit?
Yeah, and then I
But
go
just
down
noticing,
again.
yeah, okay. So noticing what's lifting you and what you're needing, whilst being really mindful that you're in recovery.
Yeah.
And so I know you're like busy you do busy quite well.
Yes.
And I'm sure your nervous system is wanting you to get up and sort some stuff out and get back to normal. But actually, it sounds like you're also not very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that kind of balance of, so remember to move out of dorsal, we are needing to bring some more energy to the system, but we can bring energy to the system without using capacity. So it's those kind of activities that bring a little bit of a lift, bring a little bit of a vibe, but don't actually physically challenge us.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because physically you're still needing rest, I think, by the sounds of it.
Mm.
And also to remember the usual stuff like water, nice food, and staying really, yeah, resting, but resting well, not
Mm.
just going to bed and just going, but finding little things that are also giving you a bit of a boost.
Hmm.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, because I also think some of the resources I've been doing have been quite hard. So
Yeah.
quite,
Don't do hard
lots.
stuff when you're poorly. Come on. Give yourself a break. That's a
Yeah.
mental break as well, because I think we can think that's not using, but that's still using capacity. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember that lying in bed using your mental capacity is still capacity. We
Yeah.
forget that sometimes because we think, oh, well, I'm resting. But actually, what can we do that's stimulating that isn't really mentally like you? So that's like going back to puzzles or people like
Yeah.
Sudoku or, like recovery is such an important thing. And if we're struggling with rest and downtime normally,
Yeah.
there's going to be this drive to get back to normal and we need to rest.
Yeah.
Full on recovery.
Petra used a word that I really resonated with, that, oh, little too much mollycoddling. I thought, oh, that sounds like my mum. Yes, but
Coddle yourself. There's
yeah.
not too much when you're ill.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, yes, so that was anyway, thank you. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
great.
I definitely had to just go to bed for a couple of days when I was away. I really got poorly and yeah, it's frustrating. There was things to see, but I thought, no, this is going to be my quickest way to recover. And that's generally true. So don't be scared of dorsal. I think that's my message for you. Your nervous system is not familiar with it, but it's not a scary place. Doesn't have to be. Yeah. It's also about rest. Dorsal
Yeah.
is about rest, which is probably why it's a very strange and unfamiliar place for you, Victoria.
Well, I've had post-viral fatigue, so I think it is scary because I think,
Yeah.
oh,
Am I going
am
to
I
be
going?
back there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. So trust. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
where we start like bringing in some trust. You do have some tools and some ways, and there is a way of bringing in some of that energy, a bit more playfulness, a bit of connection, a bit of vibe, music, whatever tools that you can use that still allow you to rest and activate at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, I get that with the post-viral stuff. Don't want to be there again. Yeah. Imagination is brilliant, okay? We can imagine the worst. We do that all the time, right? But we can use our imagination to imagine ourselves walking, to imagine ourselves out in the fresh air, to imagine ourselves in nature while still resting. Yeah. It's really powerful and very many scientific, papers have been done on how much change you can create using your imagination. And we don't have to leave our beds for that. So I hope you feel better very soon, Victoria. And let me know. Yeah, if not, also, use communication box if it still doesn't lift and you're still worried about it. Deborah, what is your question?
Well, I am intrigued with what the discussion you just had with Victoria. It feels connected, but not the same, but like a cousin.
Yeah.
So I wrote down, is it normal to have a backlash after handling a tough situation really well? So doing
Yes.
something different. And then I feel like the quick almost can't, there's no time to celebrate or to like let that have meaning or significance and be noted before my perfectionist came back in. So I had this big thing happen last night and I handled it really well to support other people and myself and not my perfectionist. I just told her to step way back. And
Well
so
done,
everyone felt
you.
supported. Yay. And then, I mentioned bought all those gifts, haven't sent them yet. And like, in floods
Okay.
the familiar pressure to keep going when, oh my God, like I feel like I did something healing with one of my daughters that was like healing her childhood and healing my parenting. So it's
Wow.
really hard. It's wow. And it's hard,
Amazing
the relentlessness of these
to
old
do.
ways. And, oh, it's brutal. So I guess I'm not asking, it is, I kind of know it's normal, but it's like what to do to,
Yeah, how do we hold space for ourselves in the big stuff? So something you've done
yeah,
really well, and actually you just do need, it went really well, but that doesn't mean you don't need to recover from it.
I do. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I mean it's massive. And it often feels a lot better because it did go well, but than when it didn't go well. But the amount of energy used, whatever the outcome, when we're doing hard stuff,
Yeah,
there is a recovery time. So, of
yeah,
course, what happens is our capacity massively dips
yeah,
post it. And then that in itself allows all the other patterns to amplify as, as in always it does when our capacity like drops. Yeah.
yeah,
So, absolutely, those other things then can't start clambering for our attention. And we're like, how can we push them back and just go, okay. So that's where the dialogue with some of our, well, for what of a better word, like often it's like self-sabotage almost, isn't it? It's like,
hmm,
I'm not giving myself the time and the space and the for this to land even in my nervous system, like for it to settle in my insides, like something momentous happened.
yeah,
And really what I need is rest, maybe some journaling. But there's this like a noise of the to-do list coming in, you know? And I guess for me, it's like, how do those things really matter? Or what does this thing matter? What is the important thing here? The important thing is that you recover from the big thing that you did. The important thing here is that you massively celebrate and allow it the time and the space to land in your system. Because that's the other thing is when we skirt over these things and just switch tasks to other things, it's like our nervous system doesn't collect the evidence. So we don't even benefit from the full, I can do this stuff. Wow, so we almost forget, we dismiss it, we minimize it, and we get to what we think is the important to-do list. Well, quite honestly, whether someone gets a present or not is not in the same league as you having a healing moment, both for you and your daughter, in terms of her childhood and your parenting. So sod the presents. That's my Just stop the posting. This is massive. Give yourself time and space. Like someone constructed Christmas, okay? We don't have to join in with it. Whatever festive presenting thing that you're doing, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, they can get them with a, sorry, it's late. Something big happened and I had to deal with it, you know, because what is, you know, it's so much more important that this lands and that you recover from it. Yeah. You said yourself you're exhausted.
I'm exhausted, and since we're being brutally honest, I keep doing this over and over again. So these big shifts and efforts are, I feel like I'm doing them on fumes, and I'm doing incredibly well in relationship and connection with other people. But at what cost ultimately to me? Because I don't want to collapse.
Yeah. What exactly? At what cost? Massive cost, and you won't keep having the good outcomes
No, no. I
because your
mean,
capacity will go down and your
yeah,
ability to have these incredible moments will reduce
yeah,
because your nervous system's going to go, well, I can't handle this. I
yeah,
can't keep doing this or nothing and then keep
mhm,
doing the doing.
yeah. Yeah, it feels like a negotiation, and I keep the part of me that is so trained to stay on and oh, just one more thing, and everything's important. Well, not everything's important, but many things still feel important,
Mm.
and so it's me who keeps getting set aside
Yeah.
for important repair with this person and important loving real interaction with this person and important this, but I I'm not quite sure why I haven't already spontaneously combusted at this point, given what I've been living for the last 3 months of relationship stress, children stress, life stress, health stress. Anyway, this
Because
is
you're resilient, and unfortunately that can be over resilient at times.
yeah, the being able to keep going is overly is a
Over
blessing and a
functioning.
curse.
It's
And
an over
it's
it's a defense mode.
yeah,
Okay, because it is a way of not dropping anything off. You know, it's a way of survival where survival is based on getting things done and making things right with people and prioritizing other people's needs and how other people are going to feel. Like how are they going to feel if they don't get this, or how are they going to feel if I don't repair that thing that ruptured the other day right away. And that comes with so much pressure and so much now urgency to it
yeah,
that it's very hard for us to just then take the space and the time. But over functioning in those ways looks very successful,
yeah,
but it is having a significant impact on your capacity and your nervous system's ability to just be and to recuperate and to recover. And so you're in a vicious circle all the time of battling
yeah,
capacity
yeah.
because it's all too much.
Mhm,
And it's a very, very hard lesson to learn that less is the quickest way out.
mhm.
Putting the things down and not and resting properly and allowing the really significant wins to register, to be important, to land inside of you, not just
Mhm.
be swept aside under the pressure of the next thing.
Yeah. I wonder in the moments when just when it's happening or just after, I sometimes get a glimpse of this could happen more often if I was rested, feeling better, slept more, and just wasn't so busy. Like what happened wouldn't feel so amazing and magical if I could live from a place that had more room for that kind of thing to happen.
Yeah,
I got a glimpse of it, but it just oof.
it evaporates again. So I mean, that's one of the things that Natalie and I talked to a lot, in that we had to realize that there was always going to be a thing. Someone that we love is going to discombobulate. Someone is going to
Yes.
need something. There's going to be a rupture here. Like, well, so
Yeah.
therefore, we needed to factor in a shed load more time.
Right.
So that means if we were going to be able to be in a state where we were rested in good capacity and could respond with care and loving kindness,
Mm-hmm.
we had to ditch a shitload of stuff.
Yeah.
Because if the proof is that regularly, like how many, 4 times a day, 3 times a week, whatever it is happening,
Mm-hmm.
you can't have a full diary. You
Yeah.
can't have a full to-do list.
Yeah.
You cannot keep doing that. And if you are doing that, it is coming from a place of over-functioning, and it is
Mm-hmm.
a defense mode
Right.
strategy,
Yeah.
because there is fearfulness about what happens if you don't.
Right. Okay.
Other people won't be okay. Other people won't be happy with you. Other people,
Yeah.
or you've got stories yourself around
Mm-hmm.
being lazy if you're not busy all the time, or you're not getting to the next thing. And so there may be some emotional archaeology still, some digging around the to do, the perfectionist, the all of those things that keep driving you to keep going when your whole body is clearly telling you you need to stop and rest.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much to learn in all of those moments. So, to also give yourself the time to process the
Mm-hmm.
conversation that you had. What was so beautiful about it? Why did that go so well? You know, that needs some time and attention too, to reflect on.
Mm-hmm.
It's so significant. Honestly, I'm feeling emotional about it. But it's like, if we
It,
keep just
yeah.
moving on from these things and not
Yeah.
giving ourselves the credit, the reflection, the processing time,
Mm-hmm.
it all just is stored up, because in the moment, in those situations, you may have been dealing with it very calmly, but I'm assure you that there was activation, and there was nervous system getting joining in, and there was capacity being used,
Yeah.
and that is storing up inside and not really moving through unless we look after it. So processing, reflection,
Mm-hmm.
moving it through, whatever, there are so many things that we need to do in the aftermath of those big significant things, and in order to allow our nervous system to return to base. Yeah. So I really would like to just invite you to see what is on that blooming to-do list and
Mm-hmm.
make some choices. Like, sometimes we have to drop things.
Yeah.
We really do have to drop things. We cannot do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a really tough, I'm sure how many others are just going, oh, I know, but you get that inside. And, there are a load of other things like going on, because it's like, no, you can't, that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. But we really can. And the
Mm-hmm.
world doesn't fall apart.
Right.
And sometimes shit happens, but that's okay, because we can handle shit, can't we now? Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got some tools for that. It's okay.
Yeah, I think it's remarkable. I have cut back a lot, but it's remarkable how much more is still possible and needed. And it's like, wow, that frightens me how long I functioned at seemingly such a high level, but at such a cost. And no wonder there was chaos everywhere in everyone.
I me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And we think we're doing all of this stuff for everybody else, but actually what we're doing is depleting ourselves and not serving the people around
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
as well as we could be. but
Mhm.
it feels impossible. So total load of compassion as well for the fact that sometimes it feels impossible, and sometimes you also feel like, yes, I have already put loads down, but I think it's just to stress how much, for Natalie, she'll say the same thing, that we
Yeah.
had to only be kind of like factoring in, I don't know, 10% of what we think we're capable of doing in a week because of all the shit that happens.
Yeah.
If we're going to be able to do, it's, I don't know what the percentage is, but we started to think, oh, we need at least the equivalent of a whole full day during the
Yeah.
week that has nothing in it, so we can borrow bits of rejug, at the very
Yeah.
least. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's yeah, we got to do less. Tough one, tough to do, and I think others are relating. Yeah, Laura. Yeah, yeah, and Lisa, and Petra. So yeah, I mean, it's a really good question. It's a really good one to bring. So thank you for that. And it sounds like there's a lot of resonating with all of that. Yeah. Does anyone want to? Oh, Tina, you've got a question as well. Related to that, just checking. Is it related to this or another question? Another question. I'll come to you in a minute if it's a different question. I wanted to just invite some feedback on just that in particular, because I could see some people resonating with that. Does anyone else sort of?
Yeah, definitely at least a whole day with nothing planned in order for the unexpected to happen. And I
Yeah,
haven't even got children living at home. So I
but the
think
unexpected does
I
always
needed
still happen.
more.
Yeah,
I need more when the children were at school. Um, so yeah, it really resonates. Um, yeah, I just put weight. I think anyway, I just had a whole load of stuff in my head that I needed to ditch about because I wasn't doing paid work. I somehow had to fill my life with unpaid work, twice as much as a paid, but I mean, it was bonkers. So yes, whatever you're doing, I think, and I thought I thought all these things wouldn't happen if I didn't do them, and some of them didn't happen because I wasn't doing them.
sometimes they don't get done. It's not
And
always that someone else
it
picks them
wasn't the
up.
end, it was just those things had to just go.
Yeah, they do just have to go.
Yeah.
Sharon, you're nodding, and Lisa as well. So Sharon, what did you want to add?
I was going to say I've recently begun to speak my mental speak to myself as if I'm talking to a girlfriend when I'm like, oh, I gotta. And what I would, we all do, what we would say to a girlfriend is, no, you don't.
Slow down. You
Slow
don't need to
down.
do that.
You don't need to do that. Let's take this off the list and that off the list and this off the list. It's what you would say to your girlfriend if
Yeah,
she was verbalizing all this. I gotta do all this stuff. And
so true.
so
We would
I've
tell
begun
others we're
to,
much more compassionate for others, aren't we? And we'll
right,
we'll often we'll
right,
often be telling other people to slow down. But when
yeah,
it
and
comes
take a
to
few things off
ourselves,
the list. Right. So I've begun to talk to myself like that a little bit, and
it's a great one,
I kind
Sharon.
of
Thank
like
you.
her.
Yeah, brilliant. Lisa, and then Laura, is your question related to this or on something else related to this? I'd say Lisa and then Laura.
Oh,
Thanks, Sharon.
just I'm so relating to this, and I'm kind of smack dab in the middle of trying to put some things down. I made a decision to not do a lot of stuff for Christmas. And he seems to my partner's going along with it. But it's doing things inside of me. And, my career is very much about caring for others, making sure their needs are met, at least currently. And it's like I'm in this mix of I know things are changing and they have to change, but in the midst of it right now, just like I kind of did my little meltdown, like how is my body feeling?
Mhm.
I really did have like a meltdown yesterday.
Yeah.
And, just, I don't know, it's very encouraging. I mean, hearing all of this, so I'm glad I'm here. but I just arrived. So, you
Yeah,
know,
I hear you.
making steps, but I just really related a lot. And, so I'm just sharing that.
It sounds like you're experiencing resistance. That's what how we talk about. There's resistance to the change. So our nervous systems, they don't really care about looking after ourselves, unfortunately. Our nervous systems aren't interested in that. Our nervous system's primary goal is to not let change happen.
Well, it's
Just
very
stay the
difficult.
same. It'll do pretty much anything in all it can to motivate you to carry on how you used to do things. So whatever your norm is, that's what it wants you to get back to. So if we want to really consciously change, and we know this is actually going to be good for us in the long term, we will experience some pullback and some resistance from our own nervous systems, which is really quite frustrating. But it's staying steady in it and getting some help along the way. So, if you and do reach out, I think that's like the message. Like we kind of tend to struggle on ourselves, and what you're hearing like is that everyone can relate to this. It's not a unique thing, and it's really a lot easier when we're struggling together.
Yeah.
So I think, you've just come to recently into Revive. I know that, but that's what the communication box is. Like, I'm trying to put some stuff down and I'm finding it really hard, or use the chat and to get support from members here. So communication box if you want coach support. So maybe to identify some tools that might be useful. Or the chat if you just want some other people who are going to go, yeah, I know, we get it. It sucks and it's hard. So we have to, Natalie's gear changing is often helpful as well. So I don't know if you've heard her talk about that, but we can't go from like fifth gear to first gear. If you do that, you're going to scrunch through the gears. And sometimes we have to go from fifth to fourth to third to second to first. We can't go from 100 miles an hour to zero without it being pretty jarring. So
Yeah.
just bear that in mind as well, when we're trying to put things down, that sometimes we need to be doing that quite gently. Sometimes our bodies just forced ourselves to put it down pretty fast. And that's what I would call when you have so what we've got is two breaks in our nervous systems. We've got the ventral vagal brake, which you can think of as your, either on a bicycle or in a car, you can put it on pretty gently, can't you? And you can slow down from quite fast to just gradually, gradually, gradually. And that's a nice gentle way. And we can use the gears as well to like go through that. I know that those of you in America are probably driving automatic, so the gear thing doesn't quite like resonate in the same way as those of us who are going through manuals. But that is one braking system. And then we have what we call the dorsal vagal brake. And that is when the system is just on burnout and it's an emergency stop. And we don't really want to be using our emergency stops. Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Those ones are like putting the handbrake and slamming on the brake at the same time. That is a kind of total like I can't function anymore. And this is where often we find ourselves with the chronic fatigue and ME and things like that, where our bodies have just gone into complete shutdown. Oh, sugar, it's 6 o'clock. I didn't notice the time. Back-to-back clinics are a nightmare, aren't they? So so just bear that in mind, that we want to try and use the ventral vagal brake and a steady kind of reduction rather than like waiting till it's so bad that we get this kind of go and do some very gentle yoga, Victoria. So that's good. Laura, and then I'll quickly try and do Tina, but I'm really aware of the time and there might be people waiting in communication. So Laura,
mine isn't really a question, so you can just go straight to Tina. I was just going to say that like I really relate as well, and that mine is also showing up in like not just things that I have to do, but also like the amount of kind of socializing I'm having to kind of cut. I find socializing quite draining, and so I'm having to even cut out on like things that are nice, like because I need to have the energy for like the people that I care about in my life, and I'm more dealing with a lot of people giving me weird looks and weird comments about how little I do because it's strange. So I'm trying to like get used to that and be okay with coming across as strange.
Yeah, social capacity is a really, really tricky one. Particularly if we've overruled ourselves on that and other people have got used to us saying yes all the time.
Yeah.
And we're starting now to realize that we don't quite have as much, or we can't keep that level up, especially if other buckets are, it might change depending on the other buckets you see, but actually if the other buckets are empty as well, that one might be lower than it is normally. So some of these things can fluctuate depending on how full your other buckets are. But yeah, it's a really good notice yeah, I'd love to talk to that more, but I can't. So I've got to go. Rota. Tina. Thank you, Laura. What is your question? And if I can't answer it, I will do you a written response.
That is very kind. That is very kind. Or I could message it to. I'm struggling with a sense of feeling in my with my partner, feeling very distant. Feeling distant is a big thing, and I feel at the moment like I'm sort of drowning in it a bit.
Okay.
That disconnection and I'm sure it's a shutdown in me. A lot of it is a shutdown in me. But it was just, I'm wondering, I did message Natalie this morning and was just sort of showing a little bit, and she said to mention it.
Yeah.
So, and I mentioned.
I think if you're finding yourself getting like more and more shut down in the disconnection yourself, but things are tricky for your partner, because remember you're only in revive.
Yeah.
Okay, so doing the how do I be me with you, you don't have the new tools for that. So some of that's still going to be just really difficult. So my encouragement to be to really focus on you.
Okay.
And if you're like concentrate on some other social connections that may mitigate that for now, that are easy and that top your connection up. Yeah, top your capacity up, but don't use it.
Yeah.
And also concentrate on your other kind of like capacity aspects as well. So a little bit as well of what I said to Victoria around being really careful when we're indoors. We do need to get some energy. So we do need to get some activation to move from that place, but we need to go really slowly and gentle with ourselves. So using some of these things like, but really gentle movement, music, things that can increase your vibe a little bit. So this is where knowing your well-being cocktail really, really well. So when you're feeling like this, you've got a whole kind of like menu of things to turn to, can be really, really supportive. So maybe in that energy and love and life landmark, which you're probably still focused on, have a look, kind of just remind yourself, what have you identified that really supports you and supports your nervous system? Because they are often one and the same. There might be some more practices we can bring in to help our nervous system, but those basic capacity ones are often one and the same. So that would be my encouragement, just to go back and have a look at some of that. But also to reach out again, so if that's not helping, come back and use the communication box, message me, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. So run over and we're going to finish really quickly and abruptly and get into the other one. All right.
Okay.
See you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.